guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of 90 Day Fiancé. This is season 7, episode 5. We need to talk. You guys, I'm wearing my Glossier I just got in the mail. This is the first time I've ever tried Glossier. I'll let you know how I feel. I still have my fan on, but I'm not sweating as much as I normally do. And I have my new house dress on. All right, let's jump right into this episode. First, let's talk about Natalie and Mike. All right, so Mike is in Ukraine. They are freshly awake from their night of sex. This is the morning after glow, and the producers want to know how the sex was. And Mike is all about telling them that she's got that boom boom pat, and Natalie's just all about blushing and being, you know, conservative as she is. But she's making him some fresh tomatoes, and they're having coffee, and she wants to know about that baby. She wants to know when they gonna start to have babies, okay? And instead of him using this opportunity to tell her the truth, to tell her that he is in a lot of debt and he does not feel comfortable having the child while he is in debt, he doesn't use this golden opportunity that she's given him, because she says, please tell me why. Give me the reason why you don't want to start right now. And he's like, well, I want to be there for the birth and for this. And she's like, I will be there. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. Clock is ticking. And he's just like dodging the question unnecessarily. And this makes me so annoyed with Mike. I mean, maybe it's for the tension of the show, because there obviously wouldn't be like any tension between them or the secret that he needs to keep if he did just come out and tell her the truth. I mean, would we have a show if he just came out and told her the truth? The answer is no. But still, I just want her to know the truth, because if it were me and I were Natalie, I would want to know the truth. She deserves to know she's gonna marry a man who's in a mountain of debt, and that means that she can't have kids. Maybe all that means for her is that she works OT, making sure that when she comes to the US that she has enough for her and baby, and let Mike figure out his situation. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the key. Next scene, we go to meet her friend Svet or Lana for short. So he hasn't met this friend. She doesn't live in Kyiv. And so this is a really big moment for him. And he, you know, is great. He's what you want every spouse to be. He is like a model citizen who should give classes and teach Jasmine how to behave. So they're having dinner, and Svetlana is like, look, I've known my girl for 15 years. We've known each other since college. Tell me about yourself. What are you guys aligned with? What aren't you guys aligned with? You know, she wants to have kids. I have kids. You know, her heart was broken by her ex-husband. Are you gonna break her heart? And that makes Mike feel a certain way, because Natalie gets upset. Now, listen, it's only been 2 years and she loved that person, and it's not like they ended up on terrible terms. They just didn't want the same things, and she knew she had to get out of that relationship. But Mike doesn't see it like that. Mike's like, you're shedding a tear over your ex, you must still have feelings. And it's like, no, Mike, she's a human and she's allowed to have feelings, okay? She loves you, she's done with that relationship, but she's allowed to feel a certain way when her friend is talking to her about her own heartbreak. Come on, guy. But anyways, Mike glosses right over that, and he's like, you know what? I know her heart's been broken. I know she wants to have kids, and we've definitely talked about that. In fact, we just talked about it earlier today, so let's not talk about it anymore. And then she says, what about religion? Can I ask that? Sorry to ask this question, Natalie. Sorry. And Natalie's like, you know, well, we're here, so here we go. And Mike is like, you know what? I don't believe in God. I've never been to church. So that leads me to believe that Mike was raised atheist. For those of you out there who are going to be like, I've never been to church and I believe in God, blah, 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 blah. If it's you, it's you. Fine. That's great. Okay, great. You win. So it leads me to believe that Mike is atheist, right? And he may have been raised atheist, which is just not believing in God. It's not believing in the devil. It's not believing in any sort of supernatural whatever. It's just not believing in any of it. Just believing in the here and now, and usually the Big Bang Theory. Now, Mike then adds a little extra that he doesn't need to add. Okay, Mike says that he doesn't believe in a higher power, but he does believe in higher beings, like a Scientologist. And those higher beings probably came to the earth thousands of years ago, and that's why modern day humans believe in God. You know, you say you see things in the sky and there's ancient blah blah blahs, and those are probably aliens or ancient beings / aliens that he believes in. Now, it comes off that he believes in them as some sort of religion. Now, I know that's not what he meant, but the way the editing went and the way he said it makes it sound like he's like, I don't believe in God, but I do believe in higher beings who are our gods. And that is too much. The man is just saying that he does believe in extraterrestrials. And the truth is that if once we stop and think about how vast the universe is, there goes my book, it only makes sense that we aren't the only sentient beings in this world. Now, personally, I don't spend too much time thinking about it. I go on ahead and let the Gene Roddenberrys and the Luke, whatever, what's his name? Lucas Films? What's his name? George Lucas. I let him think about it for me, you know? I'm never gonna say, oh yeah, I believe in aliens. Like, I don't know that I believe in them, but I know that there has to be other life form in other galaxies in infinite space. But I'm not gonna say that I like believe in aliens. I haven't seen them. Now, poor Mike. They got him on TV looking like a foil cap guy, you know? Like, just looking crazy. But I do see what he was saying, and even Natalie was like, oh God, stop talking, stop talking. I'm like, why do you even have to add that in there? Does the producers tell you to add that? You could just say, no, I'm atheist, done, yeah. But I totally love and support Natalie and her beliefs. Like, if she can believe it, you know, God bless her. And that's all that needed to be said. But it did make for entertaining television. So the next scene with them is they go on a jog, and Mike is feeling real insecure because he's not in shape. He's 6'7", so I'm pretty sure people have been asking him if he was a basketball player since he was 6'1". And so he just probably is like, yeah, for a tall guy, I can pack a lot of weight and I'm not athletic. You know, I'm really scared about falling on my face. It's a long fall from 6'7". And I'm just like, okay, but you know, your girl likes to run. So run with the girl. So he does. He's a good sport. He gets up and he runs with her. But then he drops a bomb. He's like, well, did your ex used to run with you? And she almost answers him, but then gets mad. And she all of a sudden is just like, why did you ask that? This has nothing to do with my ex. Why would you bring this up? Okay, don't bring it up anymore. Let's go run. And you know what? I'm 100% on her side. Leave your insecurities at home, Mike. We got plans. We got, you know, things to do. All right, you guys, that's the end of Natalie and Mike. And speaking of jealousy, let's move on to Annie and Robert, okay? So in this episode, we have Annie just full on admitting that when she's mad at Robert, she just doesn't talk to him. She'll just be in the house maneuvering without like any word to the wise to him. She deals with Bryson and that's it. Whenever she tries to explain to Robert how she's feeling, he tells her that she complains a lot and that he's annoyed by her, and it's just like too much. So their next scene, they decide that they're gonna go boxing, okay, to blow off some steam. He set this up, which is like, girl, producers set this up. Robert doesn't have a kind or loving bone in his body towards Annie. He doesn't want to do anything for Annie except for provide her shelter and food occasionally, okay? Everything else he feels like she has to figure out on her own. Then they go boxing, and then we meet Miguel, child. Ooh, we meet Miguel, girl. Miguel is fine, okay? He is the boxing instructor. He starts to show them, you know, jabs and body blows or whatever. But then he gets into the marriage counselor part of this segment. You know, he's doing the TLC Lord's work, okay? He's asking what's the problem with their marriage. You know, Annie starts to speak in Spanish because she could better tell him how she's feeling. She's like, you need to get rid of the pictures of you kissing your exes, and if that's the case, if you want to save them for your kids, I don't understand why he just doesn't save them on like a Google Drive. Take them off Facebook, save them on a Google Drive, give the password to Bryson, make the passwords Ninja Turtles or whatever so that he could see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, his kids don't have any other memories with him. Bryson is the only kid he's taken care of. So the other kids, I mean, I don't know how old they are, but they got memories with their mamas. He doesn't need to have them on there. I am fully in support with Annie. Well, no, I'm not fully in support with Annie. Here's the deal. I don't actually care. Like, who cares about going into the dusty crates of your Facebook? I agree with Robert on that point. But the fact is that she has a problem with it. So just give the girl what she wants. So Annie's punching and she's like, will this help me get rid of my panza from my wedding dress? And then we hear about, you know, the government being involved in the visa. It's like, duh, the government's involved with the visa. Michael, stop being stupid. I mean, Robert, stop being stupid. I mean, obviously, Michael stopped being stupid too. They all stupid. They have that argument, and then later on, Robert ends up meeting with Stephanie and Dave, who are porn granny and porn papa. Robert confronts them in a very, you know, nice way, I feel. And he's like, it was really none of your business to confront Annie. I don't know if I'm going to invite you to the wedding because that's going to be Annie's choice to see how she feels. And Stephanie's like, I'd really like to be at the wedding. Now, where I get confused is why Stephanie feels like Annie is the one who owes her the explanation. No, Robert is the one that owes her the explanation. And I don't even feel like it's that much of an explanation. I get it, that's her grandbaby. Maybe you grandmothers out there, go ahead and let me know how you feel. But I feel like, honestly, her daughter is the one being absent for the grandchild. And I understand that she feels some sort of way about Annie and the fact that all of a sudden Annie popped up into their lives. But the truth is that Annie and Bryson have been talking. Bryson loves Annie. What is Annie going to do to Bryson? We do not know. But why do they assume that there is something nefarious going on? Papa Porn Star brought up a very good point. He says, everything that I've been hearing from you so far is how beneficial Annie is to you and what you want. It feels like you just want her here to be your maid. And I'm just like, that is the best statement ever heard, because that is exactly how I feel as well. Robert is not thinking about Annie. He's thinking about how Annie can enrich his life, which is an absolute problem, and that is why I am Team Annie. The next couple that we're going to talk about is Marcel and Ana, and this is where, I mean, it's been sad. I mean, it's been bad, but it's sad and bad and just like blah now. The only good thing about this scene is that I noticed that Ana has a little bit of a donk, and I was like, oh girl, yeah, she got a cute little booty. All right, so Anna's doing party favors for her wedding, and they're like honey jars of honey, which I guess her honey is really great. People love it. And she has Marcel building a honeycomb altar type thing. I don't exactly know what the setup is going to be, but it's bee themed because that is the foundation of their relationship. And Annie is frustrated. She's stressed. Okay, she's done with Marcel. She's done with their not communicating. She feels as though they are using the fact that they don't speak the same language to not talk about the important things or the elephants in the room. So she asks Marcel how he's feeling about the wedding, and he says nervous, and she says why? And he says because of Gino and Joey. So obviously there's an issue with her kids. And Annie says, well then talk to them. And I go, no, Annie, it is your job. Anna, it is your job to talk to your boys about the way they are treating the guests, the stranger that you have brought into their house. That is between you and them, not them and him. So then she starts to talk about something else. He continues to talk about how the boys are spoiled. She gets frustrated and says that he's denying or avoiding conversation, and he understands that she's frustrated, but he doesn't care. He just honestly feels like any frustrations that he has, it's best just to not talk about it and keep it moving, which is like the way a lot of people behave. I have noticed, like this whole it's better not to talk about something, like it's just so dumb. To me, it's absolutely better to talk about something if you have an issue with somebody. Like, why would you not talk about it so that it can fester and grow and get moldy and disgusting until you're so angry and you blow up and there's nothing that anyone can do to solve it? No, you tell them right away so that they can correct the error, but not Marcel. So she's frustrated. She is. And then the next scene, she goes with her homegirl to get a wedding dress, and the lady whose shop it is like, oh, what were you looking for? What ideas have you had? And Anna's like, I mean, I've been looking at some magazines online and stuff, but not really. And the shop lady is just like, oh, I mean, it feels like she's never come across this. Usually brides come in knowing exactly what they want or have some kind of something, but Anna's just like, I'm gonna just see what you got then. I mean, Anna's all the way over this. Like, she is just, it's too much. She can't even be happy about trying on a dress. And then they go into this whole thing about him being conservative and him telling her how she can dress and how she hasn't been able to drink as much and she hasn't been able to do this because Marcel doesn't like it. And I'm like, girl, you're marrying somebody who's a conservative Muslim. I hate the way they make it seem that he's this like barbarian who won't let her do anything, when there are plenty of American men, there are plenty of conservative American men who feel the exact same way. There are plenty of conservative American people who feel the exact same way about their partners drinking. And the modesty thing, like, you bought into this. This is what's happening, okay? Live with it. Anyway, so they come out in an ugly dress, girl, and then she goes back in and says there's too much cover, and then they come out in another ugly dress, but everybody loves this dress, and Anna is just like crying because she doesn't think this wedding is good, and she just keeps on saying it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Love will work out. And I'm like, girl, this isn't Frozen. This isn't any Disney movie. I don't know what you're talking about. Take that dress off and send that man home because you were unhappy and you do not deserve this a second time around. This is not working. You have kids, you don't speak the same language, like, it's not working. And I don't think that all of it is on Marcel. I think it's on Ana because she's the one with more to lose. He can just go home to beautiful Turkey where he lives. She's the one who's going to be left at home with 3 boys, heartbroken. I mean, he'll be sad too, but like, at least he'll be back with his family, back around people who speak his language. Let's move on to Michael and Juliana. All right, so we have Michael and Juliana getting to a stupid low car, which I absolutely hate. It's loud, it's low, it's stupid. And Michael makes some comment about a woman being able to drive a stick shift and how much of like that is a value in a woman. And I'm just like, girl, anybody can learn to drive a stick shift. Like I've tried to learn to drive it 3 different times and have failed, but I understand the mechanics of it. And also she's from Brazil. I think most of the cars there are stick shifts. Most of the cars in a lot of other countries are stick shifts. Like, duh. What? Anyways, so she gets all dressed up and she's looking cute, girl. And they're gonna go furniture shopping because they have to buy furniture for this new house. So they get there and they're in this bougie ass place where the couch is $1,400 and ridiculous, okay? Then she sees a sponge in a vase or whatever and she's like, oh my God, what is this? That's so exciting. And he's like, oh, it's a sea sponge. And she's like, I've watched SpongeBob. And then we're just all like, oh my God, they are so different in age. I've watched SpongeBob, girl. I know a lot of grown people who watch SpongeBob. I'm just not one of them. I never got it. I don't understand it. It's weird. My dad loves it though. So then the next scene is they're having coffee inside of the furniture shop and they start to talk about money and how he used to think that he could trust her with money, but when she bought that car, he just felt like it was her taking advantage of him. And she ends up saying like, look, I made a move that was dumb because I didn't think I was going to get this visa. And I figured, fuck it. Listen, if he and I aren't going to ever be able to be together, I might as well buy this car. He's giving me all this money. This is going to help my family out. He's like, I don't even understand why you would do something like that. And she's like, I know, I just freaked out and thought like, you know, this was going to be the end and I might as well get something out of this, you know, like I might as well buy something on this credit card that I can make money off of. And then he's like, oh, well, is the car just sitting at home? And I'm just like, why doesn't he know that having that car there is valuable? Like, why doesn't he get that? And she's like, no, my sister's driving it as a cab. And he's like, oh, and I don't know how he feels about that. Maybe he feels like he wants some sort of kickback because he financed the car. But the truth is that he didn't talk to her about how much she can spend money. There's a lot of things that people who don't have a lot of money, they just don't understand how to spend money sometimes. Like maybe the Brazilian money versus the US money. Like I want to know how much that car was. That's what I really want to know. But the thing is though, I'm just happy that she made a move for her family to make money while she's in the US because she can't just be sending them his money, you know? So there's that scene. And she's just like, you know, you're a little mean when it comes to the money stuff. And he's like, well, I feel like you were taking advantage of me. And she's like, I know, it was a dumb move and I'm really sorry. And he's like, I felt like she didn't believe in our love. I'm like, it's not that she didn't believe in your love. She didn't believe in the damn visa process. And she's like, I need to have a source of revenue. My family needs stuff too. So like, why should I be the only person that's benefiting off of your credit card? Let's share the wealth. Which I think is smart and I don't blame her at all. Next scene is that they move into the house. The house is very big. Cece and Max talk about how hard it's been or weird it's been. Everything happened in a week, you know. She came and then they moved into this bigger house and they do like her and things are up in the air and awkward, but you know, they're gonna persevere and work through it as little troopers that they are, and we love Max and Cece, don't we? And she also talks about how hard it is for her to live in such luxury and know that her family doesn't have that luxury at all. And she talks about how the apartment that she lived in at some point didn't have walls, and because they were so hungry and poor, she had to like steal food from the neighbors. And so just like, girl, steal money from Michael all day. I support it. If he's gonna be a fool and give it to you, then just take it and do what you will with it. Michael talks to her like he would talk a child. Well, spending $14,000 on a sofa isn't the best use of our money, is it? And she's like, no. That he talks to her like she's one of his children trying to teach a lesson. The next couple that we're going to talk about is Emily and Sascha. Girl, we see the real Sascha, okay? We see the real fuckboy ass Sascha. So Emily's had the baby and they had a hard time getting the visa. But then they got the visa. But then Sascha didn't have his passport. So this fool is applying for a visa to another country, but doesn't even have a passport to leave his country. So they end up having to wait like 6 months. The baby is 6 months years old. David is a sumo-sized 6 month. I mean, David is gigantic. I just want to squeeze those cute little legs, those chubby thighs of him. But he is a big ass 6-month-old baby girl. Like, huge. Okay? Whoo, girl. Lifting him, I was just like, that's a workout within itself. Speaking of workout, Sascha, I know, is up to his old tricks again. Emily says that Sascha probably spends 5 hours a week with the baby because he's at work from 5 to 11. And I'm like, 7 days a week? I don't understand. I literally don't understand what he's doing. Does he have 2 jobs? Is he a personal, like, what is happening? I feel like he just likes to get women pregnant and then move on. And he's already talking about how Emily's bothering him and writing him and wants him to do things with the baby. But he's just like, women always get like this when they have kids. And it's just so weird. And his parents are the ones that are actually helping Emily a lot with the kids. And they've moved from Volgograd to Moscow. So, I mean, I just like, it's crazy. She is trying to get him to be more involved, put the iPad down, handle the baby, talk to him, speak Russian to him. He's like, it's too young for me to speak Russian to him. Literally what? I don't understand that. That is the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. I hate Sascha. And Emily's dumb. And I think she sees that she's dumb and that she's already on this course. And so, like, what is she going to do? He is going to cheat on her in the US and move on with somebody else. It is just obvious. Like, she's at home with the kids. He doesn't, I hope she doesn't have another baby. Like, I really just hope that she lets his ass go. Like, he's just T-Rash. Okay? T-Rash. The next couple that we are going to talk about is Blake and Jasmine. Now, this is a train wreck that I really honestly don't want to see because I feel bad for this black man. And not like I feel bad for him, like, personally, like, I want the best for him. Like, I'm just like, I feel sorry that you're not happy with you. You know? Like, that is what I get from Blake. I feel like Blake thinks that Jasmine is the, like, of, like, women, and so he feels so lucky that he's got with her, and that in this world he'd probably never be able to get with a girl like her. And I just hate her nose so much. I hate it. It's like, I hate it. Anyways, I don't want to disparage a woman, but Jasmine is an introvert who doesn't want to meet any of his friends and doesn't even really like him. Okay, she wants vacation Blake, and now that she's moving to the States, it is not the same. Like, she just wishes her sister would come back from wherever it is that she's gone so that she can hang out with her. It is just so painfully obvious. I mean, the girl just got off a plane. I'm pretty sure he explained to her that they're filming a TV show. And she just refuses to be on. She's like what Anfisa was, but not as, like, interesting at all. I mean, she's forward, but in just, like, not a fun way, you know? Just not fun. So it's the second day that she's in the US, and he sets up a meet and greet with his friends, and she's like, I don't want to do this. They go by the pool. She's not wearing a bathing suit. They get a cabana. They order drinks. She's like about drinking, and then they're kind of judging her because she doesn't drink, which is annoying because I don't drink. And that's why, like, when people ask me, I just hate it. I hate the way people react when I tell them I don't drink. It's like they think that I'm judging them, and I'm like, dude, I get fucking migraines that, like, split my eyeball out of my eye. Why do I need to explain that to you? I don't. So just take the fact that I don't drink. I could be a recovering alcoholic, you know? But people are so insensitive that they want to know why you don't drink. Don't ask somebody why they don't drink if they say they don't drink, okay? This is a PSA. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. She then is, like, annoyed and is just hungry and doesn't want to be there. And so at some point when they're asking her, like, what was the fun, what did you want to see in America? Like, what do you think of it so far? And she's just like, I don't know. It's okay. I'm tired. I'm going to go upstairs. Bye. And she just gets up and leaves. And they're filming a TV show and the friends are there for her. And they're just like, okay. One of the friends is like, dude, I have bad anxiety for you. And Blake is like, you know what? I know she had a little bit of an attitude right there, but that's just Jasmine. I mean, she's not going to be like this in 3 weeks and 3 months from now. Like, no, she's not. And I'm just like, Blake, she 100% is. You just can't see it because you think you've hit the jackpot. You feel lucky that this girl is into you. And so you dyed your hair that stupid color because it looks terrible on you. Anyways, so then they have dinner. And he starts to try to talk about what happened at lunch with his friends. And she's like, I'm sorry, when I eat, I just like to eat. I don't like to talk when I eat, so I'm just gonna eat first and then we can talk. And he's just like, she's just tired. She's just tired. And it's just like, no, Blake, you're tired. The last couple that we're going to talk about is Tanya and Sinjin. All right, so Tanya and Sinjin, girl. Tanya is a whole mess. They are on their way to Tanya's family's house, and they're meeting Abuela and the sister and the mom and some other key players. And Sinjin is like, I'm gonna be the only white guy there, and I'm worried being a family of Latinos. And I'm just like, what do you think is gonna happen? First of all, and then secondly, he gets there and he's not the only white guy there. There's a white woman who's there, you know? He gives a big hug to the mom. He gives a big hug to the sister. He holds the baby. They make a joke and push the fact that, are they gonna have kids? And then Abuela is like, look, I'm all about this blood. I'm all about this family. You can join this family if you want to, but you better act right. I love Abuela. She's my favorite. Then we find out that in 3 weeks, Tanya is going to Costa Rica to learn herbalism. Yeah, for a month. So he's been there for a week. They spend a month together. She goes to Costa Rica to learn herbalism, which is going to help them on their business and what they want to do in the future together. And then she's going to come back and they're going to have their last month and then get married. So she's leaving him all alone in the US. Again, if the tables had turned and she had gone to South Africa and he had introduced her to a whack-ass she shed and then told her that he's going to go off to another country for a month, she'd be pissed. But he is annoyed and he is kind of sad by it, but he's like, this is what needs to happen. Tanya really needs to do this. And I looked it up, okay? Because I was like, I want to go study herbalism in Costa Rica as well. And I was a little sad to discover that the people who run the place are not Costa Rican. One of the women's is like from Australia or whatever, and she's only been living there for 3 years. And like, anyways, I looked it up. It's like puntasomething.org, and it costs like $3,000 for a month, which isn't super bad. But I think I would want a private bungalow, and I think that was more like $4,000. But it looks like a really cool program. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to go to study herbalism. Like, I just want to go on vacation. Like, it was a lot of like, we don't have snacks. You're gonna have to like use cotton tampons. Like, we don't like to have a lot of waste. I mean, it's very holistic and like real like, you know, like of the earth. And I'm like, I like an of the earth situation. However, I require some modern conveniences, and it just didn't have enough modern conveniences for me. But good luck to Tanya. I mean, really good luck, because this seems like a terrible idea. But, you know, is what it is. All right, you guys, so that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let's have a kiki and a conversation to see what you guys thought of this episode. I mean, I thought it was good. It was all right. I'm just really grateful that Angela and Michael aren't in it, but they're teasing it. So I have a suspicion they're going to be in next episode. All right, you guys. Until next week, have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.